Pause. I need the mic. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Back with another video. You guys saw the title, thumbnail. Let's go right to it. Today's video, we're going to be installing the carbon fiber side fairings, at least one side, because I know the other side has the coolant. And as you guys see, I don't really have much room in the garage. That's why I always said in some of my previous videos when I did the garage tours that I would like one less bike in here, so at least I have room to move around some vehicles, and so I can do some work in the garage. As you guys know, Mikey, the tech that I usually work with, has moved to LA, so he's pretty far away, so we can't do kind of like small stuff like we used to. I used to just go for the littlest things, for the smallest things, just because, you know, why not for the video? Get it right in, get some parts installed and all that. We were supposed to go to the Molly Motorsports boys today. They have a motorcycle dealership. If you guys don't know, I've bought, well, technically I bought the H2R from them, the HP4 race, and my M1000RR. And yeah, I can't really, let me show you guys. The side fairings are pretty big, so unfortunately I can't put them in like a bag or anything like that. I would need someone to drive them over there, and I didn't have anyone to drive them, so I was impatient. I feel like we've been waiting on these for a while now, and now I really want to install them, at least do one of the sides. I mean, I'll probably do two, just hopefully we have enough room to do that. Something a little different, I never do installs anymore. That's kind of like, it was an OG thing back in the channel when I had a lot more room in the garage, and ever since I just take my bike places to get stuff installed. So here you guys have it, full 100% real carbon fiber fairings, side fairings. I do love the satin chrome finish. It's a very unique look, but for the sake of having a full carbon H2R, I have to change it. But yeah, it does look absolutely amazing. Luckily though, I have the full proper chrome on the H2. So, you know, we're not missing out on the chrome. And I think this is definitely cooler because this is the original full chrome color before even the sparkles and all that. So this is the satin chrome, which is the Nowhere Gens, which is still kind of a mirror finish, but it has kind of like a coating on it. So it's not fully mirror like the H2. So looks like we have one bolt, two bolts, the three here, and seems like that's it. I've done this before, so I kind of don't remember very well. But we have also inner panels, like I see on the inside, that I have 1, 2, 3. It's actually a lot of them on the inside. So I'm assuming, yeah, the inner panels have to come off too, and they have to mount on here, and then we put it all together, if that makes sense. So forgot to mention that we're also going to need to reinstall the wing, which I think might be a little difficult, but we shall see, hopefully. I've done that on the V4R where I switched the side panels to carbon, and the inner panel that holds the wing is actually like silicone glued or something like that. If that's the case, then we're in for a lot of trouble, and I'm definitely only doing one side, if even, because removing the wing from that was a pain on the Ducati. Hopefully Kawasaki makes it a little easier and we don't have to do that. I also got some of this other stuff. Maybe we'll install this piece right here too. As you guys see, this is a regular, whatever, cast aluminum casing is. And I got a carbon fiber one right here. So yeah, this should look nicer. We're just not gonna have the supercharger decal on it, but I plan on buying that from Kawasaki and replacing it. Believe it or not, these decals are so expensive. I bought this one, the H2R one on the tail, when we did the full carbon tail, and I think spent around over $100 or $200 on decals. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, their decals are really pricey, but it is what it is. At least we're gonna have some carbon right now. Here, I think I might have to take this bolt out so I can pull it out. Yeah, it seems like it. And I have these two, which we're supposed to take to Molly. These are the titanium bolts for the fork lowers, which are somewhere stuck in there, somewhere in there. Maybe I can squeeze in and do those. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. Oh man, this was on pretty tight. Very weird. You never see bolts like this on bikes. Just your typical, whatever it's called, but like, you know, cheap. This thing is pretty off now. I think the only thing holding it right now is the actual lines for the coolant, which I'm so not looking forward to do. I hate anything that is related to liquids, oil, coolant, brake fluids. I hate doing. That's the stuff I usually take it in for because it usually makes a mess and I don't like it. But yeah, fingers crossed, come on. Okay, coolant line disconnected, which is looking kind of low. Let me show you guys. This is what the inside looks like of an H2R fairing. That's the coolant. As you guys see, it's kind of, there's a low bar and there's full. It's kind of on the low, but I think this is the reserve. I don't think this is the actual full thing. But yeah, where's the hose? We disconnected this. Let's not lose the little, where to go? This little guy, because that is like a little clamp that goes on like this. So we'll put that on it just so we don't lose it. Yeah, putting this hose back on is gonna be a pain. Detail spray. You never get to clean the insides of your bike usually, so that sounds wrong. You know what I mean. Well, since we got all the way here, I can actually do the fork lower bolts that I told you guys about recently. There we go. I have my lovely brake lines, carbon brake lines. It's these guys right here. These are your fork lowers and these are the bolts that you guys see that will be replaced to titanium right now. We'll do one at a time because we do not want this to move. So yeah, this thing is really on, as it should be. But as soon as you loosen it, it's pretty easy. We'll see if it has any Loctite too, because of course we should put I might just put a little bit of blue Loctite on it just to be on the safe side. Look at the difference. Stock, green tie. Look how much nicer this looks. And it's a lot lighter. 0.6 ounces for the OEM one. Now let's put the titanium one on. 0.5. It's actually, usually titanium is half the weight, but those are actually bigger. So not really much weight savings, believe it or not, even though it's titanium, just because of the shape difference. Okay, this should be solid now. Oh wow, I wish these were visible. They look so much nicer. There you go, look at that, look at the difference. Unfortunately, you can't see them. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want to see more current life stuff. You know what's crazy is that we have the side fairing off. If I got the fans, I feel like, I think to install the fans, we might have to remove the actual exhaust system. So yeah, not looking forward to that. But of course, the entire side fairings are gonna have to come off too. Oh boy. I almost thought I was twisting the other way because this thing was so hard. I swear this is not placebo. I feel the weight difference. But according to the scale, there's like barely any. For sure feel the weight difference. Maybe just the way is distributed. Like this is light throughout and this is like all the way is up top right here. I don't know, man. Another little dab of Loctite. Yeah, it's a tiny bit. I just hit my elbow on the HP4 race. Oh, man. Okay, now back to the main thing. Now that we finished this, where's the other sides? I'll put these to the side right here for the other side if we get to that. And now let's start taking this thing apart. I'll just hope the fitment on that carbon fairing is going to be as good. What I like about the carbon fiber fairing on the Ducati is that it got rid of a lot of like extra added padding and weight. But I think how Kawasaki did it is that it's kind of integrated as part of the fairing. So unfortunately, I don't think we can do that with this one. Making sure all the rest are the same size since the bottom one is a short one. Now the moment of truth. So we have a little situation right here. There's a tube, the overfill tube that kind of goes in a certain way. So we need to put this carefully somewhere, since that's gonna go on the carbon. And now for the big thing, the wings. Looks like it's just a couple bolts, luckily. So hopefully it comes off easily. Okay, that's a little concerning. The wing came off, the first bolt at least came off really easy. Yeah, man, the bolts are not bolted hard. Maybe because it's carbon, so they can't tighten it too much. I'm definitely adding Loctite to those wings though. Ta-da! Naked side fairing. We're definitely gonna weigh this versus the carbon one. I mean, this is plastic, so I can't imagine it being super heavy, but still compare it to the carbon one and see the difference. Behold, the H2R bottom wing that is kind of destroyed with rocks. It's crazy how light this is though, the OEM stuff. Pretty sure this feels lighter than the aftermarket carbon one that's on my H2. 1.6 for the OEM fairing, 6 ounces flat. A pound and 5.7 ounces. So literally a whole pound lighter. Like less than half the weight. That's actually crazy. Looking at this though, they kind of look a little different. So I'm slightly concerned, but we'll see. So 2 pounds for both sides. I did not expect it to be that much lighter, but 2 pounds matter, man, on a bike. Okay, now the moment of truth. Please be a good fit, because if not, this is gonna be a nightmare. And carbon tends to not usually fit the best. I have a problem with where I place the tools. I keep losing them. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a problem. So that little metal spacer, like I told you guys, there was a little bit of room. Because of that, it's not sitting flush. Let's add some Loctite onto the top one and check, even though I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna tighten the top without Loctite just to see. Yeah, that's all the way tight. And as you see, the wing isn't all the way in. Okay, I have 2 solutions. Add spacers in between to fill that gap right here, or completely get rid of that little adapter and just mount the wing directly to the plastic piece and just put my own little spacer instead of that whole adapter thing that they used. Honestly, I think this is a little bit pointless. So I think we could just get rid of this adapter and just mount in straight like this. Well, sure did the trick. No more wiggle, and I've only done one side. The only thing is that I can hear the carbon. I think that's why that spacer is there. Just so the carbon doesn't press on itself. It's like a little... But given how lightly this was on already, and now that I have added Loctite, I think it should be fine. I just won't tighten it too much. It's pretty much the sound of carbon rubbing on each other. I mean, it's pretty solid. I'm yanking on it pretty hard. So, yeah, she's good. She'll just make some squeaky noises maybe sometimes, because it's carbon on carbon. But also that's assuming because the rest is pretty flexible right now. I think when this can't move, then it won't make that noise as much. But if it bugs me, then we'll take it off and we'll put a spacer on it. Okay, so that's that. The wing is on. Now we need to put this whole side thing on, which is going to be interesting because that's 1,000,000 bolts. I'm hoping all this fits. Oh, this is horrible. It's so not smooth. I have to like kind of like force the threads in. That was the first one that kind of went on somewhat smoothly. Oh, these went on smoothly because these were on the bracket that holds the wing. That's crazy. Now this guy was supposed to go this right here, and then I do not know where. Ta-da! Finally. Now, oh, I fell. Cooling is definitely no low. We need to top her off when we can. And now I know this is going to be extremely not fun because we're going to have to insert this coolant tube into that, which was pretty hard to take off. So putting it on is going to be even way more difficult. Well, that somehow worked out and went right in. Pun intended. Wowee. The first kind of put together sign. There's a couple areas where I'm like, I know this is going to be a struggle to line up the bolts because of the carbon, but should be all right. Hopefully, maybe. There we go. The carbon side panel is on. Let's start with the big guys. This had a little bit of Loctite, so we'll put a little bit of Loctite on it too. She squeaks a tiny bit, but not too bad. This is gonna be horrible. Yeah, the fitment isn't the best. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, the green on the carbon looks absolutely insane. The only problem I have is this guy completely not lining up. Ooh, and it has Loctite in that I just touched. All done. Now for the final two bolts that go on the top, which are kind of annoying to put on, but then we are good. That took so much longer than expected, but I wanted to get it done right. There you guys have it. I'm gonna do the other side on my own time. There's no point for you guys to see this whole process again. It's gonna be the same thing, probably even easier because the coolant lines are not gonna be there. But look at that, guys. The full carbon H2R. Only thing we're missing now is the tank. But what do you guys think? I think the carbon with the green tie and the green lines and everything looks insane, actually. Yeah, this looks wild. It's just, because it's glossy, it's not satin. It's just like a lot more now, you know what I mean? It's more aggressive because it's full glossy exposed carbon. Like the satin is kind of like a little break, you know what I mean? It's not as loud and crazy as the carbon. That looks aggressive. Yeah. She looks wild. I'm excited to take this thing out now into meets and all. Full carbon H2R minus the tank. This took way longer. This was gonna be a quick video, but it took way longer. Now, some of you guys, I know you're gonna roast me and you're gonna be like, okay, it took you a whole video just to install one side panel. I'll admit, that took way longer than expected. I was filming, changing angles, you know, working with limited room and all that, so it was a little harder, but we got it done. There you go. All right, that was the thumbnail. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see more installs. Obviously, this one is a little rusty since I never do this, but theoretically, like I was saying, if I do end up selling my brush and maybe not the fire blade, I want to put a lift in here. So, you know, if I have two bikes not in this garage, I will have a lot more room. Well, if I sell both of them, I'm getting the extrenta, that's for sure. So at least I'll have one empty spot, and therefore I can put like one lift in the center back right there, so I can move around the bike, and instead of me sitting on the floor this whole time and my legs cramping up, I can just lift the lift, and I feel like life will be a lot easier at that point. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to move this thing around, somehow get to the other side. I don't know how. I might have to move some bikes out of the garage and all that to figure that out. But yeah, if I do complete it, obviously I'll take a little video for you guys showing the full bike from both sides. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about the world's first full carbon H2R. Not only full carbon H2R, but with all the green titanium and a ton of other crazy parts on this thing. Full carbon H2R is finally complete. I am not gonna lie. This other side was way harder. I would rather deal with the coolant, because right over here, if you guys see those cables, let's see if I can show you guys. Nope. Can't show you guys, but you can kinda see right here. There you go, focused. There's this little guy and one under it. Those are the ECU. And those did not want to come off. I kept pulling on them. It has a little tab. The tab ended up breaking, so that was a mission. I had to disassemble it inside, like while keeping this attached, and then I disassembled the ECU and then started throwing everything back on together. Looking good, and the fitment wasn't as good on this side as the other side. If you guys can see right here, where is it? Right here, it's kind of a little too close, almost rubbing. So I kind of don't like that. That might end up rubbing and leaving a white mark. Of course, same thing here. Because of that spacer not fitting, the carbon right here is kind of like rubbing. So it's a little, you know, the fitment wise, it's a little too tight. And also there's a rubber grommet here that I threw all this together, and one of the last bolts I was putting this on, and the rubber grommet fell, and I have no idea where it went. I think it went inside this. So I tried to take out the ECU again, and that didn't work, so I just left it in there, and I secured this in a different way without the rubber grommet until I order some rubber grommets and just replace it, since I can't take off the side fairing, and I got over it. Holy. But yeah, that was a mission, and that is a reminder why I don't like working on bikes anymore. It's just so much harder here when I have to kind of like squeeze in here, and I can barely see because the bike is tilted, so there's no light. It was just too much work, man, for the simplest thing, you know. It should be super easy, but yeah, always ends up being a headache. Look at that supercharger over there. But there you guys have it, the full carbon H2R. We're still missing the tank, so it's technically still not full carbon, but close enough. There you go, that's the update. She's all done. I even put the titanium bolts, which you can actually see from up here. I told you in the start that you can't see them, but here they are. You can see from the top, so. Okay, and for whatever reason, my camera doesn't want to zoom anymore. What the actual fuck? Nothing wants to work today. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. The camera literally just froze. This is my iPhone too. I'm not even using a normal camera. It just froze and stopped recording. But yeah, now it zooms. There you go. You can see them on one side. And here they are on the other side as well. If this would focus, there you go. So you can kind of see them from up here. Those are the fork lower titanium bolts, and I ended up finding another spot for another titanium bolt right here. This guy right here, I actually had to do some cutting. There you go. This bolt right here, which was too long, but it was silver, so I did some custom cutting, cut this titanium bolt, and now we even did this. So a ton of details. Is it worth it? Probably not, but this is H2R, it's my dream bike and everything, so I'm full sending it, man. Those little details are so tedious and it's so not worth it, but now, you know, that she's complete, I want it to be done right. Also, we have rearranged the garage. Fire light is here since I'm gonna ride it soon. And the rush is all the way in the back. All right, I'm out, I'm done. I've been here for too long. Peace out and ride safe, guys.